Welcome friends, welcome to the special lecture which is the symbolic expression, and as an interpreter we have Manisha Sharma with us in the studio. And today's topic of discussion is socially conscious cinema, Prakash Jha. As we discussed in our first lecture on Prakash Jha, that the kind of films which he has made over the years, he has tried to raise the socio-political consciousness of the masses through the kind of films which he has made. And he is not only has been a director in the films, but he has also produced a number of films which are dealing with some of the important concerns of our times. And at the same time, nowadays he has also started acting in many of the films as well. So we find that the films of Prakash Jha are trying to communicate the kind of messages which are there in the society. And some of his films have also been proved to be controversial as well, where they have talked about certain issues which have not gone well with some of the sections of the society as well. He started his career with a film called Hip Hip Hooray, and thereafter he made Damul, which was based on the life of the bonded labor and how the migration of people from Bihar took place to Punjab, which was a place where the Green Revolution culture benefited it. So that film was largely concerned with that particular period as well. In terms of references, one can refer to the films of Prakash Jha, then Gulzar's Encyclopedia of Hindi Cinema, and Wikipedia.com. So these are the kind of readings which one can refer when one is talking about the films of Prakash Jha. And as at that point of time we talked about that how he also made a film Mrityudand as well, which was talking about the concerns of women and how women, they are being in a way oppressed in the society. Thereafter he also made a film called Gangajal, which also became very popular from the point of view of the box office, and it was also critically acclaimed as well. Then also he made a film Rajniti, in that sense, which was talking about the politics in the modern sense. And in 2011, as we were discussing in the last lecture, that he made a film called Arakshan, in which exposed the political and the capitalist nexus of the education system and the capitalist coaching institutions as well, that how these institutions are charging a lot of money from the students, and how students, they have to their parents, they have to seek that kind of a money through various kinds of means. And then how the students, they are also feeling in a way depressed by such kind of a rivalry between the various coaching institutions. And this film also pertains to the kind of tug of war between the two coaching institutions or classes, where one is run by Tabila in a cow herd, and the other one is run by Manoj Vajpayee, who is playing the role of capitalist in the film in that sense. And it had that kind of similarities with the Super 30, which was run by Anand Kumar, and later there was also a film which was made on Super 30, in which Hrithik Roshan played the role of the male protagonist. And when you talk about Arakshan, you talk about that how the chairman or the chairperson, Leela Sampson of CVFC, remarked that Arakshan was a good film about education, but unfortunately hit the troubled political situation of those time. And we find that bans, they were being imposed on its screening in Punjab, and certain scenes and dialogues in the film, they inflamed the passion of some of the communities in Punjab. And ban was also imposed in UP on the ground that it could create law and order problem in the state. Then it had also ban in Andhra Pradesh as well. And when you talk about the CBFC, then CBFC granted it UA certification and said that it would defend Prakash Jha's right to the free expression. So we find that the kind of films which have been made by Prakash Jha many times have run into some kind of controversy as well. And then he also made a film called Chakravyuh in 2012, which was also a social commentary on the issues of Naxalites and their problems. And this film had Arjun Rampal, Manoj Vajpayee and Abhay Deol. And the plot of the film was inspired by Namak Haram, which was made by Rishikesh Mukherjee in 1973, in which we find that the labor and capitalist conflict is there. And we also find that such kind of portrayals which were talking about the issues of labor and capital, as it has been done in this particular film called Chakravyuh. And we find that how in this particular film Arjun Rampal plays the role of an IPS who is posted in Nandi Ghat, and after a horrifying massacre of 84 policemen. And he also realizes that the Maoists, those who are led by the character played by Manoj Vajpayee, successfully control that particular area, and he is able to in a way defeat the kind of efforts which have been made by Arjun Rampal. And in this particular film also in a way went to the courts, in the sense that Bata India dragged Prakash Jha to the court over a song controversy, that this particular song was considered to be harmful, malicious and defamatory in nature. And because the lyrics of the song, they talk about that which was in the context of the महंगाई, that बिरला हो या टाटा, अंबानी हो या बाटा, सबने अपने चक्कर में देश को है काटा, अरे हमरे की खून से इनका इंजन चले धक्का-धक. So that is the kind of lyrics which was there, and this lyrics was basically seen to be harmful and defamatory in nature. And it also seemed to suggest that the large business groups in India, they have exploited the poor for the profits, and that is how this film was taken to the court as well. Then another film which he made was Satyagraha, which was focusing on the truth and fighting against the corruption as well. And in this film, Amitabh Bachchan is shown to be a man who is a firm believer in truth and some sort of a modern day Gandhi. He is an idealist person and he wants to give something to the society as well. And Ajay Devgan represents New India, and he is shown as a brilliant telecommunication czar, and he uses the ways of the world to get what he wants, as he has been shown in the film. So again, it is some sort of a question of different ideologies, that how Amitabh Bachchan and Ajay Devgan, they are belonging to different ideological positions. And we also see that how Kareena Kapoor has been shown as a hard-headed TV reporter who is in the field, and she also has an opinion and who is ready to dig deep, and she is shown to be a woman with some kind of a substance. Then it is also being shown that there is a strong relationship with Ajay Devgan, but when they clash on ideology, they also break up as well. And later both of them, they reunite, in the sense when he realizes the kind of principles which are there. So the concerns of the civil society movements, they have also been raised in this particular film. And we also find that this kind of a cinema, which was talking in the context of the civil society movement, was also made by Prakash Jha. Then there was another film called Lok Nayak, which was made in 2004, which was a biographical film which was based on the life of Jayaprakash Narayan JP for the Ministry of Culture as well. Then he also produced certain films like Lipstick Under My Burqa, which was made in 2016. And this particular film basically is showing the secret lives of 4 women who are in search of their freedom, and even after facing all the odds and the obstacles in their way, they still manage to find their way to claim their desires through the small acts of courage which are being shown in the film as well. We also find that how Prakash Jha also made a film on Jai Gangajal, which was the 2016 film, which was a crime drama, and it is a follow-up to the 2003 crime film Gangajal, which became very popular. And Priyanka Chopra played the lead role in this particular film, with Jha appearing in a supporting role as well. And we find that He also made a film called Pariksha, or the Final Test, which was made in 2020. And this film got delayed because of the COVID pandemic, and finally it was released on the OTT platform. And this film basically takes on the education system in India and revolves around the story of an ordinary rickshaw driver in Ranchi, which is in Jharkhand. And we find that such kind of portrayals by Prakash Jha in his films, how they try to convey that the people, those who have some kind of aspirations and the dreams in this world, that how their children, they should get the best quality of education. And in this film also he tries to show that how a father is making all sorts of arrangement for the study of his son at a private English medium school. And this film was based on the real life story of IPS officer Abhyanand, who teaches and coaches kids in a village in Bihar affected by Naxals to help them pass through for IIT-JEE. So as I told you that the release of the film got delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and thereafter it was released on the OTT platform. And then we also have seen that apart from Prakash Jha, some other filmmakers, they have also made films where you find some kind of a resonances, because the ideas have been more or less similar. S. Shankar made a film called Nayak, the Real Hero in 2001, which was some sort of a political thriller as well. And in this film Anil Kapoor has been shown as a TV reporter, and how in a TV interview of the Chief Minister he accuses him of disregard towards the elimination of the recent violence and total failure as CM, who is working for the growth and development of the state. So the CM offers him the chair for a day, and he accepts that kind of a challenge. And in that day, the way he performs, he proves to be an efficient CM, where he wiped out the socio-economic problems of the state, and various corrupt government employees, they were being dismissed. And we also see the corruption crusades by the political activists a number of times in the film as well. So this particular film also became very successful from the box office point of view, and time and again it has also been shown on television a number of times, and it is some sort of a delightful watching as well. And some other films which we can in a way compare in that sense, which are raising the similar kinds of concerns. One was the Halla Bol by Rajkumar Santoshi, as you can see on the screen as well. That film touches upon the issues like Jessica Lal murder case, and Amir Khan's involvement with the Narmada Bachao Andolan, Right to Information Act, public participation in fighting corruption, civil society movement. So we find that a number of issues which are very relevant from the contemporary times, they have also been shown in this particular film. And how this issue of Jessica Lal murder case was in the headlines for a very long period of time, or Right to Information Act again, time and again has also been talked about, and how people, they can in a way participate in any kind of a fight against the corruption as that kind of a menace which has to be eradicated from the society. And the role of the civil society in that context, that the role which civil society can play in terms of raising the consciousness of the masses, whereby the masses, they also join such kind of movements as well. And we find that in this particular film some kind of reference to a theatre group is being made, whose leader was killed by the political rivals while performing a street play by the same name, Halla Bol, in 1989. So in this particular film we see the street theatre artist Ajay Devgan becomes a superstar in the film, and he slowly loses his own identity as well, and he forgets his real self and imbibes all the characteristics of various roles played by him on the screen. So the kind of issues which were there in the earlier times, they were being in a way forgotten by the male protagonist, because he falls into that kind of a situation where he achieves a lot of success, and because of that he slowly loses his own identity, because his identity began when he was a theater artist. So in that sense, when we try to understand this kind of a cinema, and how the cinema is trying to project the kind of changes which can come when theater artists and the people, those who are associated with various kinds of art, they also take upon the responsibility of any kind of a social reform, where they are ready to concern the voice of the masses in some way. Then there was another commercial film by Rajkumar Santoshi, Khaki, which was a story of a police team on a mission to escort an accused terrorist to Mumbai. And again, this film talks about the issue of politicians and the criminal nexus as well, and the kind of problems which are being faced by the police team, and also because of this kind of a nexus. And we also see that how in this film an innocent Muslim is being framed in the fire of communalism as well. And when we talk about some other films which are based on the similar kind of themes, then Gulal by Anurag Kashyap, which explores the theme of the pursuit of power, the quest for legitimacy, perceived injustice and the hypocrisy of the powerful, which is set in the present day Rajasthan, and the plot is provided by the student politics of the university. So we find that when this kind of a film was being made and when it was released, it was largely dealing with the student politics, and how even the student politics in the present times has reached to such a level that where they're spending a lot of money, even which is not there within the permissible limits, and how the student politics is also seen as some sort of a ticket to join the regional, state and the national level politics as well. And this particular film in a way tries to show that how the pursuit of power can be done through every kind of means, and any kind of injustice which is there in the society, one has to fight for the injustice, and how the people, those who are at the powerful positions in the society, they are so hypocritical in nature that many a times they cannot be trusted as well. Another film was Shul by E. Nivas, which was talking about the political criminal nexus and the criminalization of politics in the state of Bihar. And this film was talking in the framework on the effect of an effect on the life of an honest police officer, played by Manoj Vajpayee in this film, who is idealistic and just. And then we say that how Shayaji Sindhe was being shown as a borderline psychopath who is a criminal as well as a politician, and this kind of feud between them leading to the elimination of Vajpayee's family. Another film called Sarkar by Ram Gopal Verma, which was inspired from Hollywood classic The Godfather, and again the criminal politician nexus was shown in this film, and Amitabh Bachchan is being shown as a benevolent patriarch providing instant justice. So it was some sort of critique of the law enforcing agencies, and CM is being shown as involved in eliminating Sarkar. So such kind of portrayals which are talking about the some kind of changes or the changes which can be brought about in the society. And Shivaji the Boss by S. Shankar, in which Ranjikant played a software engineer, and he aims to establish a non-profit trust called Shivaji Foundation to build a network of hospitals and educational institutions to serve poor free of charge. And the way he faces challenges by the corrupt politicians and deals with the concept of corruption and money laundering as well, and how the film's protagonist employs the methods to get rid of those elements as well, and he returns in disguise to avenge and disturb being remedy is that it offers is the vigilantism. So when we try to see these kinds of films, that how the films which have been made by Prakash Jha, they are dealing with the issues of the society, and they are dealing with issues of caste and class based dominance which is there. They also in a way talk about the women's rights and challenges and the kind of patriarchal system which is there in the society, and how the concerns which are there with regard to the corruption and nepotism which is there in the society, they can be taken care of, and the symbols of righteousness and value systems, they are also being talked about. So in a nutshell, we can say that Prakash Jha has definitely made cinema which is dealing with the socio-political concerns of the time, and it has tried to raise the consciousness of masses in its own way through the medium of films. So thank you very much.